Hey everyone, it's Stacy from Totally Twisted Cards, and today I wanted to show you how I made this Celebrate card. This card would be good for birthdays or anniversaries or weddings, celebrations of new jobs, graduation, anything like that. So I wanted to show you how I made this, and the papers that I used, the designer papers that I used, came from Studio G, Basic Grays Shine On. I got this pack from Joann's a couple of weeks ago, and it had some super cute cheery papers in it, so I decided I was going to use that. And I also got in the mail, I ordered some stamps from Papertrey Ink. This was my first order from Papertrey Ink, so I wanted to use this banner die stamp set too, and these papers had a banner theme to them, so I thought the two went together rather well. So let's go ahead and get started with our card. My base for the card is this red. It's from the Recollections Primary color stack. And all I did was an 8.5 by 11, cut it in half at the 4 1/4, at a 4 1/4. And then we'll go ahead and fold that in half, and what that'll give us is our standard A2 size card. So it'll fit in any standard A2 size envelope and can be mailed. So there's our base. And next what we want to do is put down our first matte layer in this card. And that's going to be this yellow. And this yellow came from Stampin' Up! And it is crushed curry. And I cut that out at 5.5 by 4. And basically what you do is you step down 1/4 of an inch for every mat that we're going to put on. And I'm going to adhere that with my Scotch ATG. So we'll just run the ATG around all 4 corners. This card is fairly simple to do. There's no advanced techniques in it. And I will just line this up at 1/4 of an inch in all the way around. And there's our first layer. Now our second layer came from that Basic Gray Shine On stamp, our 6x6 pad. And this is it. And I cut that out at that got cut out at 5 by 3 3/4. Sorry. So we'll go ahead and put that layer down next, again with our ATG. I love this ATG. I know I say it all the time, but it's relatively cheap once you get past purchasing the gun itself. The adhesive is cheap and it lasts a very long time. So this will go on next, just to make sure I have my patterns going the right way. And again, it steps in about 1/4 of an inch. So we'll lay that down. There's our second layer. Now, the card layout that I used for this actually comes from MFT, which is my favorite things. I like to use their Wednesday sketch challenge, I believe it's called. And I don't know the number of this one off the top of my head, but this is a layout from MFT. So the next layer will be this red, and it'll go like right there. This came from the Studio G also, and it is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then on top of that, we're going to put this polka dot one, again from that same paper line, and it'll go like that. And it is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So what I want to do first is glue these two together, and then I will put these two on. That seems to be a little easier for me. So let's go ahead and put some ATG on that. And we'll line that up. I love these colors. They're bright and cheery, great for a celebration. So there's that, and then this I want to put off-centered over on the side there, so I'll go ahead and glue that up next. And it will go on right about there. Okay, so what I want to do next is put the stamp set on it and this banner. Now the banner came from, and the stamps came from that Papertrey Ink set, and this set, I'm trying to see, is Heart to Heart number 5. So the die for the banner was this, and all I did was use my Cut-A-Bug. You could use whatever die cutting machine you have, and I stamped it out on that same red mat that we have right there from the paper collection, and you wind up with 4 banners. But I only need 3. 3 is what will fit on this card perfectly, so I have an extra one in case I mess up. So I'll go ahead and stamp these, and this is the stamps, and I will use, I'm going to use my Stays On ink. And these are really tiny. The best thing that I found to do with them is to flip them upside down once I have them good and inked. And then I kind of place my paper on top of that. Now they're not going to come out perfect, but they'll be close. So there's one banner. And I'll switch up and put the second one on. This one's a heart. I'll do the same thing. Kind of ink it up. Good. And then kind of do this backwards. Push it down. There's the second one. And the last one I want to do is this stripy one. There are 4 designs, but I picked up the ones that had the most ink coverage on them, so more black would show. That's good. And we'll put this one on too. So there are our 3 banners. And in the stamp set came a line. So this will be the line that our banners are hanging from. So I want to stamp that with the same Stays On black ink. And I kind of want it to go like this, on an angle. So make sure you press that down good. So there you go. And in the stamp set also came this, I don't know if you can see it, it's a bow to go on the ends of your banner string. So I'll go ahead and stamp that too, so one on this side and one on the other side. There we go. And then next my banners can go on. And these I'm just going to glue them down, and I like to use the Scotch adhesive glue for that type of work. This one's getting pretty low. So I'll go ahead and put some glue on each one of these and glue them down right on the banner string. So typically I'll put the ends on first and then center the middle one after that, wiping up any extra glue. I'll put these 2 end ones on first. The glue dries pretty quick, so you have to move relatively fast. then I'll center this one in the middle. There we go. Perfect. Next, we're going to make the little Celebrate banner that comes across the side. And that, again, is the red designer paper that is in the paper collection. And I cut that out at 2 3/4 by 3/4. And all I'm going to do, because I don't have a die that does the banner thing at the end, but a great trick is just to take a 1-inch square punch, and you kind of put it in here on an angle. Line it up as best as you can, and that makes the tails for you. Now, normally I do ink the edges of these papers, but for the purpose of this video I didn't. But take some Tim Holtz Distressing Ink and go ahead and edge around all these corners so you don't see the white marks. But on that, in the same set of stamps, is the Celebrate. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp Celebrate on here too. I'm just going to continue to use that same Stays On ink. You can use whatever ink you like. This is good for videos since it dries so fast. I don't have to worry about smudging it. So I'm just going to put this in the center as best as I can. So it says Celebrate. And this is my first time using these stamps, and they actually stamp really, really nice. So, good quality. This is going to go on the end about right here, and then hanging kind of off the side. So I'm just going to put some ATG on that too. Love my ATG. This card is super simple to make. So I want it to come off the edge over here a little bit, just like that. Now, for the final thing that we're going to do with this card is to put a flower right here. My favorite flowers to use are I Am Roses, and I'm going to use the R21s 365. These are the white, and you can dye these any color that you want. So I have mine here that I dyed, and I dyed using the Glimmer Mist. This is Jack Frost. I got it probably 2 years ago. It was a limited edition. I do not know if it is still available. I was having problems. I think the pump got clogged up, so I wound up putting a little bit in a mini mister from Ranger and spraying it that way, and I wound up getting some on my hands, so very hard to get off. So I'm just going to take my Tim Holtz scissors and snip off the better part of the stem. I've learned not to snip off the whole thing because they tend to fall apart then. And I'll just bend the stem over. And this is going to go right there. And I probably should plug in my hot glue gun because we're going to glue these down with the hot glue gun. So let me. And I'm also going to be using these flowers, which are the R2 427s. They're the mini mix colored paper roses. And in there were these, which are that red and yellow. And we're just going to take 2 of these and snip them with my Tim Holtz scissors also. These are already colored the right color, so I don't need to mist them or anything. And again, I want to cut these closer to the end and then bend back the rest of the stem so that we can glue them down flat. So those are the flowers that I'm using, and we'll just use the hot glue gun to get these on here. So I just figure a nice way that it's going to set. We're going to put it right there. So I'll go ahead and hot glue these. Just put a new stick in. Okay, that wasn't very smart. We'll get that off later. There we go. So this will go on right about there. And then we'll glue the little ones on next. and just putting this on with hot glue. You can use glossy accents or the E600s, just the hot glue dries really quick. The others you'll have to wait until they dry. So that is the outside of our card all finished. Now I like to do my insides of my cards too, for two reasons. One, it makes them pretty, and you can't write on some of the colors, like this red would be difficult to write on, but it also gives it some weight. There's a lot of weight on the front of the card, and if I go ahead and put something on the inside of the card, that'll give some weight to the back of it too. So what I have here is another piece of the Stampin' Up! Crushed Curry, and this one is 5 by 3 1/4, and I took that same stamp set and I just stamped it in black on the inside. And again, I like to take a design element from the front and carry it on into the side, whether it's a black and white version of the stamp or it's some of the colored designer paper from the front. I'll incorporate in the back, so I'll just use my ATG once again, and we'll get this glued down also. And this one steps in a little, I always make this one step in a little bit more than the quarter that's on that side. So there you have it. That is my card for the day. I haven't done a start to finish card in a while, so I wanted to go ahead and do a start to finish video for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you get a chance, stop out at my blog at www.totallytwistedcards.com. You'll see more of my crafty projects out there. And do leave me a comment. I love reading them. Thanks everyone. Have a totally twisted day.